Cleveland Browns, no Deshaun Watson, DTR. That wasn't a problem this week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. All they needed was 13 points heading to Denver, who is now the hottest team in the NFL. Think the Cleveland Browns can handle Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson?
I think they can handle them. What I'm worried about is the Broncos in their winning streak. It's been the turnovers that they're able to create, whether it was the turnovers against the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Vikings in this. I think that the Browns are a team that with DTR, I think you can expect maybe an interception or maybe a fumble. So I expect them to take advantage of the turnovers. That being said, this is going to be a low scoring game. I'm not sure what the over under in this is, but I would definitely take the under.
35.
30. Oh, okay. So they know. They know what to expect in this game. The Browns, I think that you have two teams that are playing good defensively. Should be a really low scoring game. Maybe all those points scored are field goals potentially in this game. I kind of want to pick the Browns in this game because I think this is a recipe for a team that has the best defense in football, facing another tough team. I think we can expect another Steelers game that we saw last week where it's, 13-10 or, 17-14, something like that. The Broncos, they've been playing these close games and they've been winning them, and credit to Sean Payton, credit to Russ, credit to everybody else. But also their offense is still a concern for me. They haven't really moved the ball to the extent where I'm like, yes, this team I can trust week in and week out. I think the Browns can mitigate that offense. And if they can mitigate the mistakes, then I think they can pull out a win.
Yeah, I think the Browns will be able to mitigate the mistakes because they do have one of the better offensive lines in the football. They're equipped to handle anything that the Broncos defense can throw at them. You have Jerome Ford, who's been one of the better running backs in the league, and the Cleveland Browns are the best screen team in the league. And I think Pittsburgh is a tough defense, so the fact that DTR in a tough situation versus a division rival was able to lead his team down the field for a field goal, not have too many turnovers in that game as well, play a fairly clean game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and win that game should be a huge confidence boost for the Cleveland Browns. And then, Myles Garrett is currently the best player in football right now, should be leading everyone's MVP conversation. Again, we were the first person to enter his name into the MVP conversation when the rest of the NFL media, as typical, takes 4 or 5 weeks to actually catch up to that narrative and throw him in the MVP conversation. But we've been banging the drum all year for Myles Garrett. And then in Denver, in a game that's probably going to be pretty close, who do I trust more to create and generate that turnover? Think it's going to be Sean Payton in this. I think it's going to be Myles Garrett in this game that will be able to overcome Sean Payton's offense with Russell Wilson. Sean Payton's been able to coach the Broncos to not turn the ball over, but I do think Denzel Ward with Juan Thornhill in this game, and then Myles Garrett and the pass rush monster he's been coming off that tough, gritty win versus Pittsburgh. This team still has some life in it. They still believe that they're a team that's going to make the Super Bowl. So I think the Cleveland Browns defense is going to be too much for the Broncos' mediocre offense to overcome. And I think we're going to start to see some of those turnovers again. And then I trust the Cleveland Browns offense a little bit more just because their run game is better. They have a better screen game. And then their defense is more dynamic than Denver's. And then typically when a team goes on one of these longer winning streaks, we saw the Jaguars get stomped out a little bit. The Lions got humbled a little bit. And I think this is going to be the Broncos taking a little bit of that leftover Thanksgiving humble pie fed to them by not only Myles Garrett, but also Juan Thornhill and Jim